Welcome to Image Deco. In today's video, we're diving into the world of 10 small garden ideas and front garden landscaping tips for beautiful curb appeal on a budget. Whether you live in a tiny urban home or a charming cottage with limited space, creating a stunning garden doesn't have to cost a fortune. This guide is packed with clever, budget-friendly ideas that maximize impact while minimizing expense. From upcycled containers to smart layout tricks, we'll show you how to turn any small front garden into a lush, welcoming space. Each tip is designed to enhance the appearance of your home and boost its curb appeal without breaking the bank. So grab a notepad and get ready to be inspired. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment sharing your favorite tip, and subscribe to Image Deco for more home design and interior ideas that bring big style to small spaces. The first key to a beautiful and efficient small garden lies in its layout. A well-thought-out design can make even the tiniest space feel expansive and elegant. Begin by defining clear zones for plants, paths, and decorative features. Use gravel or stepping stones to create walkways that guide the eye and feet naturally through the garden. Raised beds or borders made from reclaimed wood or bricks not only organize your planting space, but also add character. Grouping plants by height and texture creates visual interest and avoids clutter. Even with limited square footage, thoughtful placement of elements like a bench or bird bath can transform a tight area into a peaceful retreat. Remember, the goal is to make the space feel intentional and flowing, even on a shoestring budget. Layout is the skeleton of your garden. Everything else builds from there. When floor space is limited, go vertical. Walls, fences, and even railing posts are perfect backdrops for lush vertical gardens. This technique adds a dramatic green element without using up precious ground space. You can hang planter boxes, stack pots on shelves, or even build vertical wooden pallet gardens. Consider trailing plants like ivy, ferns, or cascading flowers for a fuller look. For a budget-conscious option, reuse old wooden crates or shoe organizers to create a unique vertical garden structure. Mount them securely, fill with soil, and plant herbs, succulents, or colorful blooms. Vertical gardening isn't just beautiful, it's practical, especially in urban settings. It adds privacy, softens hardscapes, and brings a burst of nature to otherwise bare walls. With just a little creativity, your vertical space becomes a canvas for green artistry, boosting curb appeal from every angle. Potted plants are an incredibly flexible and affordable way to beautify any small garden. They let you move greenery around as needed, create layered heights, and inject bursts of color exactly where they're needed. Use a variety of containers: clay pots, old buckets, woven baskets, or even painted tin cans to add visual texture and personality. Group pots together in 3s or 5s for a designer look, and mix plant sizes to create depth. Place them along walkways, on steps, or clustered around entryways. The key is balance. Don't overcrowd, but make each cluster count. For a cohesive design, stick to a color palette that complements your home's exterior. And don't overlook vertical pot stands or tiered shelving to maximize space. Potted gardens are not only budget-friendly, but also easy to refresh seasonally. This gives your front garden a dynamic, ever-changing charm that welcomes guests with personality and warmth. Every garden, no matter how small, needs a focal point, a spot that draws the eye and anchors the entire design. This doesn't have to be anything expensive. It could be a charming DIY feature like a painted bench, a vintage bicycle-turned planter, a rustic garden sign, or a beautifully arranged container of flowers on a stand. Placing this feature strategically, such as at the end of a pathway or near your entry, adds instant style and structure. It gives the garden a story, something that sets it apart. Choose something that reflects your taste and fits the scale of the space. A small fountain or bird bath can also make a great centerpiece, inviting both people and wildlife. Focal points offer visual rhythm and break up uniformity. They help your garden tell a story, one of creativity, comfort, and charm, all while staying within budget. Mulch is one of the cheapest and most effective tools in your landscaping toolkit. It instantly cleans up the look of your beds, retains moisture, suppresses weeds, and enhances plant health. Choose from bark mulch, straw, shredded leaves, or even decorative gravel depending on your aesthetic and availability. Applying mulch around your plants gives your garden a polished and intentional appearance. It defines spaces and adds texture and color contrast, which is especially helpful in small areas where every visual element counts. Not only is mulch inexpensive, but it also reduces maintenance and keeps your front garden looking tidy longer. For added interest, consider using contrasting mulch colors to highlight different zones or planting schemes. You can even edge your mulch beds with reclaimed bricks or stones for an extra finished look. A well-mulched garden not only looks good, but works hard behind the scenes too. Incorporating a mix of perennial and seasonal flowers ensures your garden is colorful and lively year-round. Perennials like lavender, salvia, or coreopsis offer structure and return each year with minimal effort. Fill in the gaps with affordable seasonal blooms such as marigolds, pansies, or zinnias for a vibrant, ever-changing display. This combination creates visual variety and maximizes value. When planting, consider bloom times and color schemes that complement your home's exterior. Use taller flowers toward the back of beds and shorter ones in front for layers of interest. Grouping flowers in clusters of the same color or type enhances their visual impact. Also, don't underestimate the power of foliage. Plants with interesting leaves can provide year-round beauty. Even in a small front garden, thoughtful flower combinations can create a lush, cheerful look that delights passersby and homeowners alike without requiring a hefty investment. The entrance to your home is a powerful place to add impact. Frame your doorway with lush potted plants, a trellis of climbing vines, or hanging baskets full of blooms. A fresh coat of paint on your front door in a color that complements your garden can tie everything together. Consider adding a welcome mat and some subtle decor like a small outdoor lantern or a rustic sign to enhance the cozy atmosphere. Planting fragrant herbs or flowers like lavender near the entry also adds a delightful sensory experience for guests. Use symmetry if your layout allows. Matching pots or topiaries on either side of the door create a formal and welcoming appeal. This area sets the tone for the rest of the garden and is often the first impression visitors receive. With just a few thoughtful additions, your front entrance becomes a warm invitation into a home full of personality and style. Strategic outdoor lighting can make your small garden shine, literally. Use solar-powered path lights to guide the eye and feet at night, or install string lights for a cozy, ambient glow. Even a single lantern or spotlight aimed at your garden's focal point can create dramatic effects. Lighting extends the usability of your garden into the evening and enhances its visual appeal from the street after dark. Choose warm-tone lights to add a welcoming atmosphere. For a budget-friendly solution, many solar options are inexpensive and require no wiring. Try placing lights under taller plants to create interesting shadow patterns, or use stake lights to outline pathways and garden beds. This layering of light adds depth and makes your small front garden feel more expansive. Lighting is often overlooked in budget landscaping, but it's one of the most transformative tools available for creating an elegant and functional space. Let's wrap up by putting all these ideas together into a cohesive vision. A successful small front garden combines intentional layout, creative vertical elements, potted plant groupings, focal points, well-chosen mulch, mixed flowers, an inviting entryway, and the magic of lighting. By mixing structure with creativity and budget-conscious choices with personal flair, you can turn even the tiniest outdoor space into a show-stopping entrance that reflects your style. Don't be afraid to experiment with materials you already have: old containers, leftover bricks, or thrifted decor. Each decision adds to a space that feels uniquely yours. Remember, great curb appeal isn't about spending a lot. It's about thoughtful design. Thanks for watching Image Deco. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment sharing your favorite idea, and subscribe for more inspiring home and garden ideas. Until next time, keep creating beauty one square foot at a time.